Hi, my name is Gord Miller. I'm the Environmental Commissioner of Ontario, and I'm here today to talk about a new energy conservation report that I've issued today. It is actually the second volume of my 2010 report on energy conservation. The first volume came out in May. This one includes much more detail about the actual results for the government's programs of achieving energy conservation in Ontario. There are many interesting aspects of energy conservation and energy conservation generally in the report, and I urge you to go to www.eco.on.ca and have a look at the report. But today I want to talk about one feature, an important feature of energy conservation that is explained in the report and I think is of general interest. I want to talk about demand management. It's a key challenge in energy conservation in Ontario that we have to build our generation capacity to what we call the peak. You can't easily store electricity, so the amount of electrical generation we build is the amount we need at any maximum time. Well, of course, our demand for electricity really varies during the day and during the season. For instance, in 2009, that's the period that I'm reporting on, the peak 1 hour period demanded 24,380 megawatts. Well, that's a lot of power. But if you go down to the 40th hour in a whole year of hours, it was only down to 22,100 megawatts. So the difference between, the top 40 hours is 2,270 megawatts. What does that mean? Well, that would require us to have 3 additional gas-fired peaking plants to provide that 2,770 megawatts. So you can see everything is very important at the peak. Put that in daily terms. The fluctuation on an August day when there's air conditioning and demand between the middle of the night and the peak afternoon would be 8,000 megawatts within one day. And we have to have the power available at the peak, which means we have to build the peak or come up another way of reducing that peak demand. And one way we reduce that peak demand is something we call demand response programs. It's a kind of demand management. And basically, it works like this. The Ontario Power Authority contracts with various companies who consume large amounts of electricity and who have the flexibility to either move a day shift to a night shift or just turn back their machines during the middle of the day, during the peak. They contract for them and pay them to reduce their energy consumption. And say, well, they're paying them not to consume energy. Yes, they are, but it is cost effective because it means we don't have to produce those and build those big gas-fired peaking plants, which are, of course, controversial in themselves, but as well, they involve a huge amount of investment of public funds or money investment and would have to sit idle during most of the time. So demand response programs, good way to shave the peaks, and that's a big aspect of electrical energy conservation in the province of Ontario. And as long as the cost of demand response remains competitive with the price of new peaking plants, then it's a good thing to do. So that's one of the things we describe in detail in the report. If you want to learn about energy conservation in Ontario, there are many other aspects of energy conservation described in the report. I urge you to go to the website www.eco.on.ca and see for yourself.